I'm heading to a place I heard a lot about from my grandmother when I was a kid. My grandmother was raised by her grandmother, Callahan, who was a Civil War orphan, and the stories were passed down.
Head south on POW Road toward Oscar English Road. Continue on POW Road for half a mile.
Honora's father was Jeremiah Callahan, and he's buried in this cemetery. He was a Union soldier who died of starvation in Andersonville Prison, which was a POW camp near here in Georgia. Almost a third of the 45,000 prisoners at Andersonville died while in captivity. They're all buried here, along with some recent veterans. The total is 20,000 graves. Jeremiah was an Irish immigrant from County Kerry. He had a wife and 4 children, but a daughter passed away at a year old. They came to the U.S. around 1859. Wealthy men in the North could avoid fighting in the Civil War by paying the government $300, which is the equivalent of about $6,000 in 2024, or they could pay someone directly to fight in the war in their place. So according to my grandmother, Jeremiah Callahan took the money to fight on behalf of a wealthy man. Jeremiah joined the Massachusetts 57th Regiment, Company B. I don't have a photo of Jeremiah, who was my great-great-great-grandfather, but here's a photo of a young man who was also with the Massachusetts 57th Company B. Jeremiah may have fought alongside him. His name was Private Simeon King, and he's wearing his uniform. Unlike Jeremiah, King survived the war. So 20,000 buried here and 13,000 are Andersonville POWs. They put Christmas wreaths on almost every grave, which is beautiful, but it'll make it more challenging to find Jeremiah's grave. Good thing I'm up for a challenge, because I don't know what section he's in. I don't see it on any database on the internet. I only know his grave number is 7230. And complicating things more is the fact that his name is spelled wrong on government documents, and his name is even spelled wrong on his headstone. So I searched every possible spelling. According to his wife's signature, it's Callahan. Callahan. 2 L's, 3 A's. Luckily, when I look at a photo of his headstone, I see some clues. There's a tree behind it, and there's a wide space between his row and the row behind. I'm going to drive around till I find it. There aren't that many trees that look like that here. I see a tree that looks promising. There is a space behind that row. The numbers are in the 7200s, so this is it. Didn't take long to find it. Here he is, Jeremiah. He was captured in early June 1864, and he was dead by late August. Less than 3 months. He was 31 years old. He just wanted to make money to feed his family. I can almost hear him praying to God to save him, and then losing hope and praying to God to take him. I read that people are allowed to leave things on graves here, so this is his daughter that he never got to see grow up. She was 6 years old when he died. She's my great-great-grandmother, Honora Callahan Duggan. She was named after Jeremiah's mother. And I thought he'd be very proud of this. His grandson has a school named after him. William Callahan worked his way up from teacher to superintendent of schools. This is the Callahan School, still in operation today in Harrisville, Rhode Island. I hope Jeremiah is reunited with his wife and children. Here's the spot where the Andersonville POW camp was. $13,000 died here. Here's the museum. It's for POWs from every American war. I had family members fight in various wars, but Jeremiah was the only POW. I remember we all wore those bracelets during Vietnam with the name of a POW or an MIA on it. I was just a kid, but I remember the MIA soldier on my bracelet had a really long Polish name that took up the entire bracelet. I don't remember his name anymore, but the last time I checked, years ago, he was never found.
We were all overjoyed. There was no question about it. We were all moved that he was alive.
Let me just kind of let you write letters. And I started to write.
The Confederate commander that ran Andersonville was executed for war crimes for letting prisoners starve to death. Andersonville prison was described as just a giant cesspool filled with the dead and dying. Summertime in the deep south must have made it 1,000,000 times worse. Hell on earth. This illustration was done by an Andersonville POW, drawn from memory. It depicts the 35,000 prisoners that were there when he was. In this drawing, some POWs are getting water from the creek. They got shot if they got too close to the line where they could escape. That's an actual photo of the tents they lived in. Here's another photo of a starved prisoner. That's probably what Jeremiah looked like by the end of his life.